was I did it with a blend. Oh, you can also see I've made a matcha here as well. This was like a making myself drinks day. Usually I make myself a couple of drinks and then I finish them over the course of a few days, especially if I have a day off. Then at least I have something special over the next few days. I don't know if that's weird, but like, I do it and they always taste fine, so that's like the equivalent of the I turned out fine argument, you know. But oh, my final coffee seminar, I did one where Starbucks has a like they have a coffee blend that comes out in like the March, April, May kind of zone called the Odyssey blend. And it's a blend usually because it's like an odyssey, it's a journey through the three main growing regions. It's got a coffee from Asia Pacific, it's got a coffee from Africa, and it's got a coffee from Latin America blended. Those beans are blended and it used to be so fucking good. When it first came out, it was the 50th anniversary, so that's why they did it. And it tasted amazing. So I made Odyssey blend, and then I took some of the beans is a hell. For me, it's a kitchen where I have to be on time and cooking things and making sure that something isn't burning, and then also remembering like the sauce, and oh, I also need to have this chopped and that chopped and everything chopped, so it ends up taking way too long, and I panic, and it's just like, fuck this. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But the egg was in university, I would get so like paralyzed in the kitchen about what to eat that eventually I just started getting myself frozen things. Like I got, I actually burned myself out on Costco taquitos. There used to be this giant box of frozen taquitos that you'd get at a Costco, and I would come home from university, I would eat the Costco taquitos, and that would be pretty much it. Not healthy. Or what I would do is I would end up getting out a thing of crackers and peanut butter, and that would be my meal because I could not force myself to cook or do anything. Toast is always a staple, of course, and a grilled cheese. I've always been kind of able to do that, but like, I think I am very proud of where I have come to in sort of, I guess, my cooking journey. No matter how behind or ahead I actually am, who cares? Who actually cares? Not me. You're gonna see a cut here, I think, fairly soon, but I'm basically finished with my meal. My egg is cooked. I think what I toasted there was the flatbread. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about cooking, and I was talking about my grandma. I really should be watching this to kind of like narrate to you what's going on, but I don't know. Are you really watching because you're interested in what's going on, or is the relaxation of just having someone close by and talking to you while they do something? Truly, I think that is where the true ASMR lies. So, I think I quit the oh no, I faked myself out. But I take a little sip, and I think I end up just plating what I was eating, and then ending the recording pretty soon here. I can't remember what the next clip is, so we're gonna see if we like switch gears at all. Yeah, I had gotten my peanut butter on my flatbread, and then this is the next clip where I think a lot of things started moving at once. So I plated up my eggs, and there's my little bumblebee latte, and there is the scrambled egg. Now, I don't know if this is an odd thing, but I like my scrambled eggs browned on each side. Oh, and then I sprinkle some cheese on. I don't know, this is just something that I really enjoy my scrambled eggs being. I remember once I watched Gordon Ramsay, like how Gordon Ramsay scrambles his eggs or whatever, and I was kind of appalled, if I'm being honest. He makes them into a kind of soupy kind of thing, and I'm like, no, that we're not playing that this year, sir. But the way that I do my scrambled eggs is, if I may say so myself, absolutely perfect. So here, you're having a little bit of a breakfast with me. I think the clock back there on the stove says it's around, I guess it's maybe more of a lunch, because I think it says like 11 something, or maybe 10 something. But I also do tend to wake up, not eat, and then eat later into the morning as well. So we're just sitting here while I'm eating, having just a grand old time. I don't know why I did not choose to sit at a chair for, as if, you can hear a plane going overhead, but as if to hammer home my laughing at myself. I don't know why I didn't choose a chair to actually sit in for this, but I'm just kneeling in front of the dishwasher and eating my little eggs. I think because I didn't want to move the camera, because I always worry, like, does that like induce nausea for all of you? Oh, and that cut leads us into what does it lead us into? Oh, it leads me into, okay. Yeah, I should have filmed the voiceover, recorded the voiceover a lot earlier, because I have forgotten what is in these clips, which I feel terrible for. But now I've kind of moved on to a couple of like kitchen chores. I get this honestly. I didn't just follow a nutrition trend. But I will cut up a little avocado and then I'll crush it up along with some of the ingredients that you see here. So I open it up, I make myself, this is like one of my favorite things to do, is like cutting it while it's in here and then squeezing it out. I really, I don't know, there's something like deeply satisfying about this like rhythm that I fall into with it. What am I doing here? Okay, I guess that part was not agreeable to me. Whatever I just cut off and chucked, was not cutting it, I guess, in my mind. But now I'm doing it with, oh, I did it with the other half too. I am doing my cuts again. This is kind of fun, honestly, like making a little grid in the avocado. There's something like really satisfying about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but like, doesn't that just look fun? Doesn't that just look satisfying? It's like, remember when like soap cutting used to be like a thing on the internet? That was like, this my version. Like, look at that. Oh my god. I'm a genius. I'm like so hot and cool and smart. Like, can you, like, oh, anyway, I remember when I first started doing this, I felt so clever. I'm probably not breaking, like, literally any new ground, but, like, I love it. This is my favorite part. Like, okay, are you ready for literally the best thing ever? Oh, I don't really angle it toward the camera this time. Too bad. But that's just perfection. Like, I am an amazing person. I am perfection. For figuring that out. But I'm hopefully I like speed up with this fucking process, Ryan. But eventually you'll see me add in the ingredients that I like in this, because not only is it avocado, but I also add in salt and pepper, of course. Salt and pepper. Is this one of the ones where I add in a little bit of smoked paprika as well? I can't remember if it is or not, but I have since started adding smoked paprika to this quote-unquote recipe as well. And you can see me hunting in the fridge for a million little things, but I'll add sour cream, lime zest, lime juice, pepper, salt, and then smoked paprika, and that's usually it. I'm not a huge fan of adding in like onions. Sometimes I will add in tomatillos, because they add like a little bit of a sourness, which I like, kind of a savory sourness. It's a little bit more sour than a tomato, but it's still like really good. But I don't believe that I added in here because I don't think I had tomatillos this day. But then I like mash it up with a fork, and then it's like my own little, like, it's not really guacamole because like it's missing a lot of the central components of a guacamole, but it is like, I just call it my avocado dip. And like Ritz crackers, chips, saltines, you can really have it with anything, and it's just a really nice, it's fairly filling as well, kind of dip, that makes for a very good snack, at least as far as I'm like concerned. So yeah, you can see me here, I'm using the zester to get a lot of lime zest in there. To me, honestly, the more lime zest the better. Did I end up using all the zest of this lime? I don't think I ended. No, I don't. I think I might have wanted to go a bit conservative with it this time. Not go in too heavily with it. But here I'm going to juice the lime. I ended up adding all the lime juice. The only thing that I notice when I add in lime juice like maybe about a quarter teaspoon or something like that of sugar into this mixture. Excuse me. Of sugar into this mixture just to like amp up a little bit of flavor in it as well. But yeah, I just end up juicing the limes here and then make it. This is another thing that I have like started to realize about cooking, is that there's actually like not a lot of rules. Like there are rules, of course, but like I don't know, cooking has always seemed like this obtuse and kind of like difficult to get into thing. So I've kind of just noticed that it's really just about combining a bunch of stuff. And once you figure that out, it's actually a lot simpler than I would think. So this is another one of those things that, like, I know it's just sour cream and avocado and a couple of spices, but I'm actually really proud of this because it's something that I've managed to make, and I did not have a recipe in order to make it. I just added things together that I know people put together, and I make something that is like actually nourishing me and is actually good for me. So I don't know, I love myself. I didn't expect this one would take up this video would have so much of me pumping myself up in it, but this honestly is a great example of like what a breakfast / lunchtime looks like for me. I had a Jeopardy going in the background where I'm just like, I make a whole bunch of stuff. Like I probably ended up making lunches too on this day for my next couple of days of work. I cut up a bunch of fruit, I do remember, on this day as well, like apples and pears and stuff like that, because those get sent to us in that box of produce that's been rejected from other places. Yeah, like it's just, I don't know, when I get in the kitchen, I end up getting into, like, if I don't get paralyzed, I end up getting into this flow state where I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually really accomplished and I actually really did something today, and I feel really good about myself for it. So yeah, I believe this sort things out. But, like I said, I guess I'm just not intentional about, repotting very often. This is actually kind of unpleasant, is it not? Oh. What in God's name am I doing? Hello, welcome to socks and calves and looking at my pantry door. This is, I will give you a window into my process for ASMR. Often I am editing out. Oh, there we go, we're back. Very often I edit out, I would say like in close to every single video, there is one part where I'm like, didn't like the way that I did that, or didn't like some aspect of the video. So I edit it out because it's just weird or silly or goofy. And then there are some aspects you've probably seen here and there in some of my videos where I'm like, this is too weird not to leave it. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? So I end up leaving it. I don't know. Is that bad of me? Is it weird? Maybe. But, I don't know. It is just maybe a weird house style where sometimes I just leave in a rant about some random wacky BS, you know? Okay, back to what I was talking about. I'm not intentional about repotting my plants, which I really should be. I mean, I love them so much, but so far, nothing bad has happened. Knock on wood. But, this one here, this is, I believe, like an arrowhead anthurium, something like that. This thing is, it's not doing well, and I don't know why. Nothing about what I've been doing with it has changed, except for the fact that it hasn't been repotted probably in about 2 years. So I decided to repot it. When I pulled it out of its nursery pot, it came straight out, as you saw, and these roots were very crispy. Like, they just did not look like, I don't know. I didn't like the look. I didn't like what I saw, basically, where I was like, is this like, is it gonna live? Are these roots like fully bound? So what you see me doing here is I kind of just get rid of all of the soil. Like, I wash these roots quite a bit, and then I also end up ripping off and snipping a lot of the longer roots, trying to maybe reset its sort of like root system, like whatever sense it has for how its root system is. But I often know that plants will enjoy it if you do like you kind of let the root system breathe, you trim some roots down and things like that. I looked up at if anthuriums like being root bound, because I do know that there are some plants out there that within reason do enjoy being root bound. I could not find that anthuriums thrive when they're root bound, but it also didn't say that they are especially sensitive to it. So I think I tried to cut kind of a middle ground here where I didn't go wild, like I wasn't just like in there with a chainsaw, but then I also did remove a lot of roots and tried to loosen them up a little bit to give them some air. And then this one, so far, after I've repotted it, its leaves it's lost a good portion of its leaves. Like, the new leaf that you see coming in is dead. That large leaf, though, one of them that's not like bent in the way that those on screen are, center says to do, you know, like the greenhouse expert. I usually ask when I buy, I'm like, hey, what do I do to this thing? And it's a guy at the one who's closest by where I get the line, like probably 95% of my house plants comes from this specific greenhouse. And the guy there, he's like, do this, here's your watering schedule, here's the light, repot every blank amount of years, go. And I follow the general sort of verbs of what he says to do. Like I water on the schedule that he tells me. I put it in the soil that he tells me. If he tells me to repot it and put it into better medium, whatever. But these plants also kind of have to adapt to me a little bit, where I'm not going to be able to provide perfect humidity. I can put in a pebble tray, but I'm not buying a humidifier because I will not clean that, and then I will be spewing mold into my room, you know? So, like, it's kind of just like, well, I'm going to do what I need to do for them, but they also kind of have to meet me. I maybe go 3/4 of the way and they need to meet me 1/4 of the way, you know? It's a real relationship that I have with my houseplants. It's a real relationship that I have with my tropicals. There are a couple of plants that I desperately do need to repot. I'm actually, like, now that I'm looking around my room, because I'm recording this voiceover in my room, there's 2 that I can see right now that would probably, like, severely need a repot, you know, where, like, the soil is quite, like, where I would want to, like, actually give them the time of day. But they're also not my main plants. I think I give my love to my main plants, which I have in my head. And then there are some that do fall by the wayside. I guess, yeah, I do pick favorite children. If that's what that tells you. But you know what? If they survive, though, then they've survived, and they're better for it. Maybe I'm just a tough love plant parent. I'm just kidding. I think I treat my plants pretty well. I mean, the way that they grow for me, I think I treat my plants very well. But here, this nursery pot it's got huge holes at the bottom, so most of the perlite here and the soil that I end up putting into it it doesn't all leak out, but it's close. And then also, I ended up having to, like, dump out a lot, because this root ball is way, way bigger than I was expecting it to be. You can kind of see that I have, like, a moment of just panic where I'm like, what the hell do I do? And then a bunch of perlite falls out of the bottom. This is a little bit of a disaster, and now I'm shoveling it away with a spoon, like Ryan. Oh dear. Sometimes being a plant parent, I've said that like a million times in this past, like, 20-minute span, but sometimes you just kind of have to, you know, work with it. Sometimes you just kind of gotta do what you gotta do, you know? It's a bit of a disaster. Sometimes it's not always going to be perfect. Like the repotting job I did on this, I'm proud of it. I think it'll work, hopefully, but am I like, wow, this was such a good job, like, great work, Ryan? No, not necessarily. It's like kind of rewatching it now. I am very much cringing. I'm just sitting here watching it on my dresser, and I'm like, what in God's name were you thinking? You idiot. Oh dear. But I end up, like, it ends sure. What I do know is I have ended up filming about 3 or 4 different walks that I've taken, because we've just had so many nice days that I really, 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 really wanted to. I was so excited that I actually got to go for like walks out in my neighborhood, because my neighborhood is really, really pretty. They've done a really good job with it. So I was like, oh my somewhere. It's inevitable. But, so I just do a little bit of cleanup of that, and then I believe, I'm not exactly, like, I'm not too sure, but I think after I do this, vacuuming, then I get ready to make myself some lunch, I believe, for the day after this, or maybe, or crap, I don't know when I was making it for, but I believe I was making lunch at least for one of the days after I was filming this, which I guess is how that works. But I'm so happy that I got to show you my snack container. It's too bad I don't point it towards the camera, but if you get a chance to kind of look at it, it is a Star Wars themed stacking snack container, and this is one of my favorite things of all time. I have 3 Star Wars ones, and I have 3 Bluey ones. Because, oh yeah, there you get to see it. It's got Grogu, Baby Yoda on it, as well as one of the frogs that I believe he eats. But like, these stacking snack containers have revolutionized my lunches. I've had the Star Wars ones for probably about 2 years now, something like that. And then the Bluey ones my mom just got me for Christmas, but they are so fucking handy. They are amazing. They are tall and they are thin, which is really nice because then I'm not like carrying around a bag of crackers, another bag of crackers, a granola bar, a container of apples sliced. It's just so, they are immeasurably convenient. I find that for me they hold a perfect portion size, and like, if you can find them at Costco, the brand is Whiskware. It's just, they are so good. I am not sponsored. I know that's like so rote to say on the internet at this point, but like, truly, they are so good. And what I kind of love is that in, like, whenever I get into a new situation, like so not the job I have right now, but the job that I did have before this, like, I always say I don't talk about work in specifics on here because it's just, I work with a very sensitive class of people, and the internet's an unpredictable place. But my last job, there was office work, and then there was also work where I would be sort of going into a place, and then like I wouldn't, consulting is the wrong word, but like, I guess that's the best way that I can put it, where I would be like supplementary essentially to what was going on at that specific location. And so a lot of people, of course, would see me in lunchrooms and stuff like that, and every single time they would be like, is that like a Star Wars stacking lunch container? And I'm like, yes. And they're like my pride and joy. Now that I have the Bluey ones, the current job that I have, which is a lot more central, thank goodness. It's like in one location now, which is nice for my commute, but it still does contain office work and things like that. Like, there is a central place that I sometimes go to, but it is very infrequent. But basically, I took the Bluey ones in on one of my first days back after the new year, and everyone was like, oh my god, do you have Bluey lunch containers? And I'm like, yeah, of course I have Bluey lunch containers. I fucking love my Bluey lunch containers. They're so cute. I love them. And they're like, my kids watch that, and I'm like, yes, because Bluey is actually a great show. Yes, absolutely. Of course I do. Because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? But what you're seeing here is my, this has been my lunch for the past, because I got my last job in November of 2023. So about the lunch that I have been having for close to a year and a half is what, or 2.5 years, it doesn't look really nice. There's like ice on the ground and stuff like that, but it was a pretty good day. Then this one was same coat, different day. It was already, or it was like, I think this was the day after the one that you just saw. There's like this little forested area in my neighborhood, and it was like super snowy. It was kind of slippery a little bit, but I actually don't mind it in there because it's really quiet. And what you aren't able to hear is that there were like a million little birds just chirping in among the trees. Like, it was so loud, in like the best way possible. And then the day after this one, I went out on a walk and they were like all flying around and flocking and things like that. It was like super cool. But I love having this little area in the neighborhood because it's just like, it's such a serene little place, you know? Like, there's nothing like super calm around. Like, it's the only place that is out of the way of like houses and cars and things like that, other than like that big pond area. But that big pond area is super popular, so this is a nice place to go if you're looking for something a little bit more like low-key. I wish I could bring like a chair out here and just like read in the little forest. That would be super cool. This one here is a super short clip. This was a much nicer day. It was an evening, and I believe that dot up in between those houses, that was the moon. That's why I really wanted to film this one. There were people coming up behind me though, so I didn't want it to look like I was like filming them. So that's why it's so short, and that's why I'm kind of holding my phone down at an awkward angle. But this was such a beautiful evening. And then this is same evening. I tried to get a better shot of the moon, and then it moves out, and then like I swing it around. I don't know why, but I tried to get the best view of the moon and then also the pond that I possibly could. So I think I succeeded kind of. Then here's me just trying to take a better view of the pond area, fully not noticing that I had it in vertical. Of course, just like me. And this is the part of the video where we kind of get into like the walks all happened over the course of a few days. The laundry happened over the course of a few days, so I'm just kind of grouping them by theme. So this was the start of me doing my laundry. This is fully, like, this was a consequence of me not having done my laundry for about like 2 weeks, which is fully on me. But I had so much to sort and so much to do, and it was like, it was honestly kind of painful. But the putting away video that I ended up filming, which appears later in this like laundry section, was really satisfying to me. I was really happy about it. Like, finally everything getting done. But my God, was my space a disaster. Like, I truly, if there is one thing that I hate in this world, it's conservatism. But if there's another thing I hate in this world, it's laundry. I really do not like doing laundry. There is something so, like, there is full, it is like a textbook case of task avoidance in my case, because there's so many steps. It's so much easier to leave it in the dryer and forget about it than like take it out and fold every single little piece. And I understand that I'm complaining about something that people do so often, but I really just hate it. I dislike it. I like the outcome, yes, like I do like it when my room is all clean and my clothes are nice and fresh and all that, and my closet is nice and stocked. But my word, the like process of getting to that like nice clean point is just like, oh, it is the antithesis of fun. I hate it. But here, this part of the video is just me like sorting everything out into piles. I give the little thumbs up here, ready to go. I had a load already in the washer that I am now transferring over to the dry. Oh no, maybe I already had done that. I'm actually I mean, whatever works. At least everything got clean, I think. Am I right? I love how saying, am I right, ladies, implies that I have ever tried to hit on women ever in my life. Oh dear. But now you are perched. I didn't realize this when I placed the camera, but this, you are perched behind the hangers, like there are hangers right in the frame. And this was later in the evening where I needed to organize all of my hangers because yes, they do have to be color organized, and it does matter which hanger, which color of shirt goes on. If you don't think that, then you're just wrong, and I'm right. And that's just how it's gonna be. I'm just kidding. But I'm organizing my hangers to get ready to put everything on them, and then as I'm like organizing them, I believe, is it the dryer that finished at this point? Maybe that's why I was doing it. Do I start hanging things? Yes, I do start hanging things. So this was a load. I'm checking to see if things are still damp. The dryer has an eco dry setting, which I really do like to use, and it's funny. We do see the change that using the eco dry setting has had on our electricity usage, which is kind of interesting how that works, isn't it? Like we saw it in the bill where it was like, oh, we started using the eco dry setting right around then. But the only thing is that it does take about an extra 10 minutes or so each time for each load. And sometimes there are certain clothing items that I have that do, like their collars will stay slightly damp, or like my socks if they're pulled up, so sometimes I have to check. But this is a load of like my work clothes. My goodness, look at my hair. Wow. Hello. But this is a load of my work clothes that I'm starting to hang and put away. And again, like, if laundry could be eradicated, if somebody invents a system that cleans and then automatically hangs or folds things for me, I think I would marry that person and become their, like, I would do anything for them. Because, my word, does this just, like, buzz my brain into oblivion. I make it better with YouTube. I like, oh, there we go, I realize that my hair looks busted. I mean, who cares? But, YouTube makes laundry doable for me. Like, if I did not have something going on, or like a podcast or something like that, I think I would actually just never get laundry done. And then, like, these things, they sit here for about another day before, like, I actually get them hung up in the, like, in my closet, or put away the folded things into, their drawers, or in the closet where they need to go. So, if you ever end up dating or marrying me, just know that I will be very sincerely appreciative if you decide that laundry is your responsibility. Just kidding, that's not responsible of me. Anything to get out of it, hey, am I right? But there's my dress pants, and these are all my burgundies and my blacks and things like that. I love all of these clothes. That shirt, that burgundy shirt that I'm currently blocking, it is one of my favorite garments of all time. I got it last year, and I'm so happy because it's that perfect shade of like burgundy red. It's like it's like rock formations in Sedona. Do you know what I mean? Like they look like that shirt would blend in at like Zion National Park. Is that, or no? Am I thinking about Arches? I don't know. It's one of the parks down in the U.S. Where they have all those red rocks. Like I always associate it with like the Grand Canyon or Sedona or places like that. But it's like one of my favorite shirts out there. It sees a lot of views. I wish I had gotten like 2 or even honestly 3 of them, because I love it that much. I am fully one of those people. I have multiple light gray t-shirts that are plain. I have multiple disaster because I've got clothes all over it, and I'm like bringing it, like, look at that. It's honestly, I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. I love myself. And so now I'm just like in the process of making sure everything makes it to where it needs to be. Oh, there's my pride shirt. I got me and my grandma matching pride shirts because she liked the design. She saw it in Old Navy and it was only there in a small, so I ordered her and I both some online. And then it's like, I love that shirt. I wear it around the house. I wear it for pajamas a lot. And then, so my table here that I'm moving, when you see me filming where the lights are in the background and like the window is to the side of the screen, oh, there's my microphone, which I had laying in the dog bed, but which you can't see, but the filming setup that I use for that is me sitting on the bed, me putting a plant stand table on top of that wooden end table that I just moved, and then propping the tripod up on that plant stand. It is a dumb setup, I know, but it works. It works really, really nicely. Because I don't want to get myself an actual tripod when I have, like, we have a tripod at home, which is an old beat up end table and a plant stand table and a $19 tripod from Best Buy. So I moved that thing out of the way. You can see I'm currently, if you take a look at the bookshelf, I'm currently figuring out whether or not I should be reading, after I finish the book that I'm currently on, whether or not I should read Heated Rivalry, which Grandma gave me. My grandmother read Heated Rivalry. That was a fun revelation. She was like, well, I just, I skipped over any of the parts where the two boys were getting a little intimate. Which, isn't that just so fucking cute? Or this book with like the deer head on it called The Brent Without Sorrow. That seems like it should be really good, so I'm kind of like flip-flopping back and forth on which one I should read, but really either one will be a good choice. I think I am leaning toward Heated Rivalry just because it's Heated Rivalry. Me and my mom are watching through the show right now, and yes, I also realized that, like, am I watching softcore? P-O, a couple words, ography, a couple letters. Yes, I am watching softcore, P-O, ography, with my mother, but she and I don't really care. I don't know, it's never been that taboo in the house to discuss things like that, or like watch stuff like that, or read about it, or things like that, as long as it's appropriate, for like everybody who's participating in the conversation. As long as they want to, they are able to. That's how my mom raised me. Do not be ashamed or like to get down on people who enjoy stuff like that. But me and my mom, we just have not had time to continue to go through it. I know it's like so good, but like her being in the role that she is in, she's a legal assistant to three very busy people. I honestly don't know how she does it. She has the patience of like a fucking rock. She's shows are you watching? I'm like, Drag Race and reality TV. I'm not actually like upset about it. Like I like what I like and that's fine. But sometimes I'm like, no, I haven't seen The Pit. No, I haven't seen Hacks. No, I haven't seen this, that, or the other thing. But I'm a little bit slow on the uptake. I also like, it's so funny. House Hunters is just such a good show too for me. It's really, really like, there's something relaxing about House Hunters to me. I really like watching people go through, and honestly, sometimes on House Hunters, they have some of the, like in the kindest way possible, some of the most unique people on there. Sometimes they are quite wacky and funny, all kind of in spite of themselves. So sometimes it's just fun to like watch it and like giggle at some of the things that they say. Yeah, about like the houses or like what they want in the houses. So I really, really like watching that. House Hunters, and then what was the other? Oh, Jeopardy. I tape and watch every single episode of Jeopardy because of work. I am about 20 episodes behind, so I'm like around 2 weeks behind. But I finally just finished like the tournament cycle. I'm very excited for Masters. But I just finished like Second Chance Wild Card in the Invitational Tournament. And it's so funny, like I just love Jeopardy. I don't know if it's because it's predictable, but like it's just such good TV. I also like competing alongside them. I don't know if I'd ever like try out for it because I don't really like the competitive setting, but also just to be on Jeopardy would be amazing. Like even if I end with like negative amounts of money in my bank, I'd be perfectly happy. Like even if I don't make it to Final Jeopardy, it would be so amazing to actually go on Jeopardy and like, I don't know, like compete. I could meet Ken. I could be on the Alex Trebek stage. Oh, wouldn't that be so fierce? I'd love it. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at, like TV show wise. I think I honestly will probably finish the book before I finish the show. Heated Rivalry I'm talking about. Just because I read a little bit faster than I get through shows, which I know should be the other way around, but I also, how do I put this without it being inappropriate? You know the content of Heated Rivalry. If you know it is very, very intimate, very steamy. I enjoy reading that kind of thing much more than I like watching that kind of thing. I don't mind watching it, it's perfectly fine, but to me, the intended effect is stronger when it is in written form, I guess is what I'll say. But yeah, so I am quite excited to read it just to see what it's all about. The other thing is that like there were a couple of my friends who were like, yeah, like isn't it just like gay relationships targeted towards women? And I'm like, so why can women not be allowed to like get on what they want to get on, you know? What's the problem with people enjoying what they want to enjoy and then getting, gratification from that? Like there's actually nothing wrong with it. And I really dislike how people like get down on, and don't you ever notice it's never things that are targeted towards men, it's never things that is targeted towards young men or gay men that gets like sort of like this scarlet letter on it for being like, oh, well that's just raunchy, it's just targeted towards men. No, that's not, nobody ever talks about that. But as soon as it's like, oh well, it's a smut book for women, it's like, oh my god, God forbid. No, let women, I can't say it for YouTube, gives a shit? But back to putting away clothing. I'm actually almost finished doing what I need to do. There's about 2 minutes left in the video clip. But my work clothes are all nice and put away. All of my folded stuff is put away. My bedroom floor and hamper area are finally clear of well-sorted laundry piles that I just don't get to because I procrastinated quite viciously. But yeah, mostly everything is away. I don't think that there's anything else interesting really that happened in this clip here. It's just like everything got put away, everything is kind of squared away. This was the most recent, oh, this is a new shirt that I got, but everything, this clip is the most recent video I filmed. It is closest to, ooh, I might film a bike ride, actually, maybe that's wrong, but what we're gonna go into next is we're gonna go into me doing some garage work that I did on the same day that I was doing the laundry. So this is kind of like, it's a little bit anachronistic. But I get to put away, that's the book that I just recently finished. So I get to like put everything away. I'm kind of like figuring out what to do because there's a third book in that series and I don't know where it's gonna go once I finish it. But yeah, I get to do some outdoor work now after I finished my laundry, so I am quite excited for that, because it means spring is on the way. So let's get to that. Now I am in the garage. This is this is a long time coming. I had been excited to do this for quite a long time at this point, and you'll kind of see what I'm getting into, but right now the garage is in kind of winter mode. We have all of our metal artwork up in the garage that usually goes out on the fence in the back. We have the snowblower out. The umbrella is put away, like the shovels are out. The bikes are up, which we have since taken down because of what I ended up doing off camera later. Or, well, no, the bikes came down because of what I ended up doing on camera outside on our back wooden deck for another minute and use a power sander on it. It's just ridiculous. So I'm like, we need to figure out a better way to help protect this wood so that we don't have to just do a full replacement of the deck. And then there were these piles of deck tiles, like these faux wood deck tiles at Costco, and they, I think, will do the job. I don't know exactly, like, my mom has a plan of how to, like, execute it, which I'm going to kind of let her take the lead on a little bit, because she is, like, in the grand scheme of things, compared to me, a little bit handier, in like that way. Like, she can figure things out a lot better than I can. I'm just like a strong pair of hands that can lift stuff, and I'll do like whatever, but like she, like, we're gonna have to cut these and things like that in some places to be able to fit. So I don't know, like, she's gonna figure out how they go on there, and I'm just going to be along for the ride and like put them where they need to go. So that is going to be quite the project. I'm hoping, like, a replacement deck, that would probably, I mean, with the price of wood these days, that's probably like getting me in at least easily the $3,000 to, that's actually probably close to where it would be now that I think about it, but like, I can imagine it getting up to like $5,000 at the end of the day, by the time everything is like finished and materials and whatever, and then we just have to stain it and sand it and whatever. Yeah. So these are I think they were about $400 for the entire, like, for 14 stacks of them. So I'm really hoping that these are the answer to our woes, and it at least goes some way to helping protect the wood deck so we don't have to do a full replacement. Cross your fingers for me, because if it doesn't work, I think I am actually going to lose my sanity. But you can also see a couple of projects that I have. Oh, what I'm holding right now, this is super cool. The county just opened up a, like, upcycling slash, like, how would you call it? Like, so it's like a place at the recycling depot where you bring in, like, stuff that is otherwise trash, you know, like the, like, old plastic plant pots that you're not using and are, like, not sellable really, but somebody could conceivably at some point find a use for them. So the county opened up this, like, recycling trash exchange but like not trash, so that you can just, like, go in there and grab whatever the hell you want to grab, and they, like, just let you take it as long as you weigh it. And so just, the garden cart to me is the sign that spring has arrived fully. Like, I get so excited when it's time to bring out the garden cart. The garden cart is first, and then it's the patio furniture that's next. That makes me super excited. But right now there's a ton of stuff underneath the stairs that I need to get out so that the snowblower can go down there. And like once the snowblower is down there, it kind of just stays until winter, until we need it, and then we can put away like the hose and the pressure washer and the lawnmower and things like that. Kind of in the fall. That way we don't have to, you know, like not really the fall, but like late fall. Like usually after the first snowfall is when we kind of do a big outdoor day of putting away a bunch of the stuff from the garage and all that. But right now I'm just kind of vacuuming up everything in and underneath there so that I'm able to actually pull stuff out without worrying that it's like sitting on dirt and dust and getting a little bit dirtier. This is where I kind of like consider whether or not I can like vacuum up all of this dirt and dust in this pile, and I ultimately decide against it. But is that not so satisfying, looking at like the trail of the shop vac where I have picked up all of the dirt and the dust? It like looks like 3 shades brighter. It's so cool. But then the shop vac, we really need that new filter because it's like suction power is not where it needs to be right at this moment, which is unfortunate, but it still works, so I'm counting that as a win. Yeah, so this is just a lot of me doing like kind of what I've said, cleaning stuff out. And while I was doing this, I was starting to think about what theme I should have for my plants, because my planters, kind of like I did a couple videos about them last year. My planters, they always have to have a theme every single year. The first year that I ever did planters, it was 2020. I was bored. So, oh dear. I should have pulled down my pants a little. Yikes. That's okay. My body is beautiful. But what was I gonna say? 2020 was the first year that I ever did planters, because of course I was bored. How could I not go do like something with my time? And so that year I found these plants called celosia plants. Now celosia plants, they look like they're on fire. Is what it looks like. They're very pretty. Look them up. They're amazing. And it just kind of organically stemmed from there. I put these celosias into planters, and then I was like, wow, it looks like fire. And I was like, oh, my theme is going to be life among the flames, a commentary on how wildfires bring life. After the fact, like how a wildfire, if it is like done, if it occurs naturally, is actually good for the health of a forest, not the way that wildfires happen these days, where human activity just creates such tinderbox conditions that they become these massive disasters. So that is kind of what I was thinking about with my first theme of planters, and then every single year since, it has been a new theme. The next year after that was a space theme. The next year after that was a summer theme. All of my planters were themed around, like, one of them was like early summer when all the flowers are blooming, midsummer where everything is like hot and like bright and yellow, and then late summer, which is like kind of getting toward like, you know, like pumpkin patch time and stuff like that, where like the summer heat is kind of like waning a little bit, like, you know how August is so nice and a little bit transitional. That's what I was thinking. So like every single year I have done a new theme. So I think, yeah, the seasons one, or the summer one was 2023, and then 2024 was environments, and then 2024 was environments, was the pride flag. And then, finally, 2026, I am not sure what it's going to be, but I was thinking about it, and there's part of me that wants to do an all-stars theme where I look back at my photos and I look at the nicest planters that I ever made, and then I recreate them. I like that idea, but there is part of that that just feels like, well, I've done that before, you know? So I'm kind of like on the fence about that. I also thought, like last year, it was themed around the Progress Pride flag, and I kind of like talked about this on the channel, but there was one that was black, white, and brown. There was one that was light blue and light pink for the trans colors, and of course a little bit of white on there, and then there was like a blue, indigo, violet. Green, of course, was a theme in all of them because there's green with plants, you know. And then yellow, red, and orange were a couple of different planters. So that was the Progress Pride flag, and I thought, what if I did planters themed around kind of the other different sorts of pride flags? So like the lesbian pride flag is a really nice color scheme. So I'm like, well, maybe do I do like a lesbian one? I gave my friend a planter last year. She's bisexual, so I did one around the bisexual colors, which was really, really nice. Lesbian, bisexual, the gay, like male, sort of like the MLM, I guess people are saying a lot now. Like those sort of turquoises and blue greens, those ones, like that one is pretty nice. And then the demisexual flag is really nice. Demisexual, asexual. The aromantic flag is really, really nice as well. I mean, like, even when you consider something like the leather flag, like that's also, like, if you find plants and flowers in those color schemes, like, they would look good together. So, like, I'm trying to think of what to do, and that's kind of where I'm leaning, is to do other different little pride flags, but sometimes it really just takes me going into the garden center to like fully know what it is that I'm going to do with my plants that year. Sometimes I have to buy a few and then like find the theme. That's how I did the pride flag one, where there was like this coleus that had a really like sort of coppery brown leaf color, and I was like, huh, I want that. And then I was finding like there was this one with like very dark purple, almost that they look like black flowers, an angelonia plant. And I was like, oh, brown and black. What if I did brown, black, and white as the sort of chevron on the Progress Pride flag? And then I started to find baby pink and blue, light blue colored flowers, and I was like, ooh, I could do a trans one. And then finally I was like, we're just gonna do the pride flag, because why not? I'm gay. So why not do the pride flag? So that is how I ended up landing on it, and it was kind of a last minute decision, because I was going to do a redo of the environments one, where I did new environments than the ones that I did the year previous in 2024. So that's what I wanted to do, and then I was like, no, actually, I'm gonna do the pride flag. So it's like, do I do the pride flag sequel, or is that not creative enough? I am overthinking it fully. I am putting way too much thought into it, and I need to just let it kind of, I need my theme to arrive to me at some point, you know? I think that is like, I'll just need to go in and start getting a couple of early plants and see what I like, and then kind of like finally figure out, oh yeah, that's what I want to do, you know? So here I have finally taken out the garden cart, so that's that thing, that kind of like table looking thing, where on the inside of it there's like tons of like gardening supplies. We have like pots in there for the most part, and then there's a drawer through the camera. Oh, that I stop mooning all of you. Hopefully that YouTube doesn't mind that. Like I said, whatever. I am a beautiful person who actually cares. But this garden cart is the first sign to me that, oh, spring is here. And then I get super excited. I get really, 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 really excited when the garden cart comes out. And like, I fully say this, while it is April, spring comes quite late for us here, unfortunately. I wish it could come slightly earlier. Even just rain, I would take a rainy month over a snowy and then melty month, you know? Because it's just kind of miserable, like having to live with not constant snowfall, but like the constant threat of snowfall, and then like, oh, it melted, and then oh, it's snowing again, and then oh, it melted, and then oh, it's snowing again. It just really sucks. So that's why I do some of these kinds of projects like technically early. Like theoretically, I could have opened or taken out the garden cart way later. Like I probably could have done it like now. I'm filming this in like the middle of April. I probably could have done it way later than I actually did, but like I do it to keep myself excited for spring and not get discouraged by all the snow. And really it doesn't matter. Like the snow that we do get is easily shovelable. It's not like we need the snow blower in April. It's more of like a January, February kind of thing where we need it. Sometimes December. But like this is sort of my favorite part of the year, where I get to like speculate, like what are my plans gonna be? How excited am I gonna get for the year, you know? So this is kind of like the first big project day of the year, which brings me hope, tons of hope. Also, if you are confused about what you're seeing in this image here at the very, very far side of the screen, on the opposite side of the screen where the garage door is open, those are a bunch of staking supplies that my mom has out. My mom is a big orchid girl, so she's got like tons of orchid spikes and stakes and things like that. Because I just realized that looks very strange, and that looks like, you can't tell, but it is far closer to the camera than it would look like it is. Also, all this wood, I hate all of this wood. We're keeping it just in case, because it's good to do that. But I also absolutely despise this wood. I want to get rid of this wood so goddamn bad. It falls all the time, and being like just flat along the side of the garage wall is like, it's not hurting anything. But also I kick it, it falls, it like crashes down, it makes loud noises. I'm just like, I am over this wood. I don't want it anymore. But it's there because it is good to be prepared, like I said. I also can't wait for the day that I get to put that shovel away. That's underneath the, you can see the, oh, what's it called? The umbrella. I can't wait to put the shovel away, and then you can actually see some of the decor choices that we've made in the garage. The only thing, I was just checking the time there, the only things that are not going to go out on the fences are the mountain picture, and then also the license plates. Those are a bunch of old Alberta license plates that we've had. Those are all the license plates that me and my mom have had since we moved to this house. It is. But those, and then the one with the blue lettering is the one that she had way back when we lived in Ontario. And the reason why we kept it is because I was so attached to that license plate, because it's like one of the things that would attach me to like my old home, you know, like Ontario and stuff like that. Did you see me just hop underneath the stairs? But I would always call it Budkey because it's BDCY. So I was so attached to the Budkey license plate, which maybe that's weird, but like I love Budkey. accessible while still underneath the landing part of like the stairs and that sort of thing that's there. So here you can see me trying to like get this thing over top of everything that I've got like set out. It's a little bit of a disaster, but it's my disaster. So we love it. Then yeah, so like the shop vac needs to be accessible, the pressure washer needs to be accessible, the lawnmower needs to be accessible, and then also the hose, but the hose goes out around to the side of the house anyway, so that'll be, we'll put that out there soon enough. I don't like to hook up the hose until it stops freezing at night, for sure, which that's like just standard practice, but it always makes me nervous, like taking the hose out too early. I'm like, even if it's out there, I feel like it's gonna burst the pipes, even if it's not connected. Just a little bit of paranoia there. But the exciting thing is that most of the snow is gone off of our grass, and I think we only have snow forecasted once more, so I might actually even be able to start like raking the grass and things like that. It certainly does not need water because we had so much snow this winter. No watering the grass yet, which I'm happy about. Hopefully it's a nice, evenly rainy start to the summer. I know that El Nino is going to be like making it hot and dry, and I am not excited for hot and dry because that's just painful. But I've kind of done the hard part here, like putting the snowblower back where it belongs and like taking everything out from where it was while it was wintered. We've got quite a good system going, so it usually looks pretty much the same every single year underneath the stairs and the landing, like where the snowblower ends up and where all the summer stuff ends up. The only nice thing is that so where the garden cart is right now, sort of in that corner, there were like, we had so much just random stuff piled up there that we did kind of a deep clean. Last fall, we got rid of a lot of stuff that we just didn't need. It was stuff that we were keeping that was actually just not serving us. So we got rid of a bunch of stuff that was previously living in that corner, which it wasn't really affecting anything. device, and this one is a Lenovo Yoga 9i or something like that, and this thing is basically a holdover for me. And I did not buy it. This was given to me. I do not have the money to purchase just like a random laptop for myself, but my Apple laptop has been getting so hot recently. I don't know why it has been getting so hot. It's got a major overheating problem, and I think I need to take it in for servicing. I think that is like the only thing really that can like help it at this point, where like the battery life is just god awful. It gets so hot. I need to take it in, but and it's got a bit of a rattle because I cleaned out the fans, and I don't know, it is royally frustrating. And I know that I still want an Apple computer. I know that I still want that because, one, it is just convenient. Two, they are very good at like keeping themselves clean, and they're operating very like they're just good machines. I like an Apple laptop. If you are anti-Apple, I really don't care. I think that like I don't know. It's actually not a big deal, you know, like for people who are hardcore into laptops and devices and things like that. Am I somebody who uses Apple all the time? Absolutely, I am. What of it? I like them. I like what they have to offer. Because I know I have one friend who, well, I had one friend, we don't really talk much anymore, but just would completely get on my case about having an Apple laptop, and I'm like, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's really not. They are good machines, and they are, I mean, very popular for good reason. Anyway, whatever. But basically, I need something new because my old Apple MacBook is just not working for me right at this second anymore. And so this is like a full coincidence. What I have found is my cousin's old laptop. This is what I'm using in this video clip, and this is, like I said, a Lenovo Yoga 9i something. It's got two screens, as you can probably see, and it's got like an attached little keyboard thing. But he has had it, I think, for a year or something like that, and apparently hated it. Apparently, he really did not like it. And I was like, well, are you not going to use it? And he was like, no, I think I'm probably going to get my parents to get me a new one. Rich parents, so, you know, that's just something that can casually come out of his mouth. He's got like, yeah, anyway, but, and in my brain, to keep my karma on the up and up, I was going to offer to pay him. He is the one who told me just to take it. He did a reset on the thing. He transferred his, like, whatever he needed to transfer onto another laptop that he has. I don't know. But, he just gave it to me, and he was like, here, take it. And then I didn't really offer it to pay. If he ever asks, I will. I'm probably going to ask him again if he wants something for it. But it was like, oh my god, yes. And then I thought, like, well, I could tell him if I don't like it and then give it back to him, and then he does whatever the hell he wants with it. But so far, it has been working out good. It doesn't get, like, now. I feel like the rich kid who's got 2 laptops that I operate on. So sometimes when I bring it into work, they're like, didn't you have a different laptop earlier? And then I'm like, oh my god. I look so pretentious with my 2 laptops, and then this one's like fancy with 2 screens and whatever. But so far it's working out pretty good. I might see if I can do some video editing on it, but the one nice thing is that because my phone is an Apple, like it's an iPhone, it makes like getting video and like things like that onto my laptop, so it's convenient in that way as well. So like, yeah, I don't know, there's like there's a lot going on in my brain in terms of technology lately, and it's just really stressful because, you know, it's not just questions of like, oh, which laptop am I gonna get? It's like, oh my god, how much money am I going to have to spend? It's like, why does life have to be this stressful? Why do I have to pay money for everything? Like, why did we invent this world for ourselves? You know, it's just weird. Anyway, I'm just complaining, which is my right to do, mind you. But this day that I think I recorded this, yes, the day that I recorded this was actually the day that I did a big reorganize of the plants that you see here. What I ended up doing is I ended up bottom watering all of them because they usually, like, top watering them is a lot more convenient, but bottom watering, I think it renders better results, at least for me. I see my tropicals do better when I've consistently bottom watered them, but sometimes it's just not practical for me. But I did a big reorganize, I did a big bottom water, and now, like I said, it looks a little bit less congested up in there. But can we like take a second to appreciate the absolutely gigantic alocasia or alocasia cuprea that is up on the tall bookshelf, kind of in the back middle? Isn't that thing just gorgeous? It doesn't look like it here, but those leaves are massive. They're like the size of my head, or my face at least. Then the monstera, that I got 50% off. Can you believe that? It's a Thai constellation, and I got it 50% off because they were clearing out tropicals at the local garden center, and I was like, oh my god, this is my chance. It was still, oh my god, like I feel absolutely terrible saying it was still $35, which is entirely too much, but I like it. It makes me happy, so that justifies it in my mind. But that one is doing great. It's actually, since I have filmed this, it has started putting up a new leaf as well, and it's just very happy, and it's very green looking, which I love. And then the other one that you can really, really make sense out of is the fire sticks plant. Is my fire sticks plant. That is the big sort of like chopstick looking plant. It looks like a bunch of tubes. That thing is going wild. It loves its location because it's a south-facing window and it gets so much sun. It doesn't get enough sun to go fully orange during the summer, like I think they're supposed to in their natural habitat. But this thing, it just does so well for me, and it's growing so much, and it's so wild. You can see the growth as it happens. It's so cool how it feels like it grows like a weed, and you can see changes within like 2 or 3 days, versus some of my other plants where it takes like weeks or months to see like a distinct change. So it's such a rewarding plant. It is getting absolutely gigantic. is that like the biggest, I guess, branch of it, kind of the one that's reaching the highest, has gotten so thick. It is probably like quadrupled in thickness since I first got it. So it's quite a remarkable plant. Now that I think about it, actually right now as I record this voiceover, I need to water it today. So that is something that I'm going to do. But really, I think, is this kind of funny, like, the setup of this? Oh yeah, you can also see my pride flags right there at the front. You can't quite see all of them, but like right in the corner. I love that. But what was I saying? Does this not look kind of like, you know, the lo-fi chill hip-hop girl who studies in the window with her cat? That is kind of what I feel like this clip gives, except instead of cats, I have plants. Instead of a cat, I have plants to accompany me, and that is also like what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I just lost my complete train of thought. Oh my word, lo-fi chill. Girl. Oh, right. The other thing about filming these like multiple clip videos is that I also still get to listen to music. Like I've gotten a chance while I do this because I don't usually have YouTube on while I'm doing like big things. Usually when I would be writing or something like that, I would have YouTube on right now for what you're seeing. But I ended up putting music in, and this video project, each time I film, I think for the most part I've had music on. I've gotten to listen to so many different like albums lately, and I get to do like a full listen, which just makes my heart so happy. I love doing a full listen of an album. I think one of my favorite full listens of all time was when Renaissance came out by Beyonce, obviously. And when Renaissance came out, it was like the night before a shift at Starbucks, but I put in my headphones and I started listening to it. I listened to it from front to back. It was a transcendent experience. I think, like, what's the runtime of that album? It's over an hour, handily, and so it's just like that. I return to the memory of that. Another album that I did a full listen through was Aurora's A Different Kind of Human Step 2, and I listened to that. I went to a Tim Hortons early in the morning. It was a day off. This is back when I was in university. It was June, and I didn't have work, and I got in the car. I went to Tim Hortons. I got myself a breakfast sandwich, and I just drove around, and it was this beautiful golden morning. The light was so nice, and I got to just drive around, and everything felt like it was in bloom. That's a full album listen that really, really, really stands out to me, as well. So I'm glad that I got to do a bunch of full album listen-throughs as I've been filming this project. And now is the time when I should be saying goodbye, because we're in the final stretch. We're in the last minute or so. And like I said earlier, thank you again to Sparrow and the Dog Star. Thank you for allowing me to